The other day, my friend Ellen came over and she told me a story about her trying to make friends with a cricket. But it was I thought it was going to be a lovely, sweet story, but this is what she said. She told me that one day that she was in her bathroom and she looked down and she saw a cricket and it was chirping, and she started talking to the cricket, and the more she talked to the cricket, the more the cricket talked to her, and she was charmed and she befriended the cricket and loved the cricket and welcomed the cricket into her house as she referred to it as her pet. Well, then what happened was the cricket found another cricket, and they had many more crickets, and suddenly her entire house was filled with innumerable crickets who were all chirping and chirping, and Ellen, who had a hearing impairment, was suddenly her hearing aids were triggered by the sound of all this chirping, and they started to chirp, and she was continued to try to love these crickets and this great family, this great universe of crickets that had now invaded her house. But her hearing aid was going off as well, and it was very hard for her to maintain her sanity as well as her love of nature and all living things. Now, one would hope this story had a happy ending. And it did, in fact. The crickets had some kind of great longevity, and they were very prolific in bearing other crickets. And soon, as I said, the crickets covered the floor and covered the walls and were hanging off the ceiling. And poor Ellen, she was just undone, and her feelings were so conflicted. She didn't know what to do. So she decided, all by herself, that the crickets could have her house and that she would leave. But she had nowhere else to go. So she decided to make them all a cup of tea. And in the tea she put some substance that would make them be quiet and go to sleep. It wouldn't kill them, but it would cast them into a deep sleep. And so she did this, and they drank their tea, and she drank her tea, and suddenly there was this wonderful quiet that overtook her house, and even her hearing aids stopped chirping. And the moral of the story is, well, what is the moral of the story? I don't think there is a moral to this story. I think, well, I don't think anything. So you have a lovely day.